Welcome back to Baldur's Gate 2, the movie. We're going to start this episode out just by exploring Walking's Promenade a bit. I know I've been glossing over any time I've spent here because it's usually been just me stealing stuff, and I didn't want to put that on screen. But there's some cool stuff to see here, so we'll go ahead and have a nice run through of Walking's Promenade. We're actually on our way to the Adventurer's Mart right now in order to purchase the Shield of Baldur because it's going to help us immensely with the quest we're going to be doing today. Some cool exhibits there, a moose, snake, some other good stuff, a weird flying machine there. So now after we purchase the Shield of Baldur, we're going to head over to the sewer entrance in the Temple District here. This particular entrance, if you want to follow along with me. And as well as remove Nalia from the party.
Or has this ended our travels?
We are going to be filling that spot very soon, and she's just basically going to be dead weight right now. I don't have any ammo for her, any spare ammo for her sling, and I don't feel like casting spells on these simple enemies we're going to find down here in the sewers. So we're heading south right now. We're looking for a fence, someone we can buy and sell stolen goods from. But I can't quite exactly remember where he is, so we're just going to have to look around until we find him. But instead we find some kobolds and a slightly more troublesome enemy than the kobold up ahead. But for now, just make sure everyone's using ranged weapons so we're not triggering too many at once. And there he is. You can see the sewer master, Rakshasa or whatever. Rakshasa. Anyway, pretty strong enemy there. He looks cool as well. He's got a big sword. But we want to kill this guy because he's got a really nice cloak on him that we're actually going to be using until the end of the game. Called the Cloak of the Sewers. We'll look at it once he goes down. Just focus completely on him. The kobolds are basically like the goblins from the first dungeon. They're not going to do too much damage. The witch doctors might be able to cast a spell to hold your characters, which is a bad, nasty spell, but if the witch doctor's already dead, just focus on the Rakshasa first. I know I'm just ruining the pronunciation there, but it's a difficult word for my stupid mouth to say. But yeah, the kobolds explode quite quickly. You'll see right here on the ground, a short sword +1, a couple fire arrows, and the cloak we were looking for, which it just raises anyone's armor class by 1, or I should say it lowers anyone's armor class by 1, but it can be worn along with any other magical items, which is what makes it so useful. Someone will always be wearing it. I went ahead and threw it on my main character, and we have a sea troll here. Now, if we were to have ran into the fence, the thief that I was hoping to find, he would give us a small quest to come over here and kill this sea troll, because the sea troll has been murdering his clients or his customers that come down here. And you can see the sea troll has a regenerative health effect, which makes him a bit of a nasty enemy. We'll just finish him off with a fire arrow here and continue southeast. And finally, we come across Roger, the fence. And he's got some good items, mainly potions. So I recommend you either steal or purchase the potions of Master Thievery he has. But otherwise, I would refrain from stealing too many of those potions until we make our way over to the lady who sells us the potion case, which we will do this episode, just not right now. We see a nasty carrion crawler here. Really scary enemy. Not much to worry about, but just I would hate to come across something like that in real life. A giant bug. Jesus. And up ahead, we finally see Keldorn.
Halt and go no further, layman. There be a grave evil here, the source of which I have yet to. yet to find.
So we warn Keldorn that we've got other plans after this quest, but he's totally fine with it. We see how good he is. He's got 17 strength, 17 con. He's a good party leading tank. Good wisdom, great charisma, and he's good with two-handed sword, crossbow, and a longsword. So he comes with some full plate mail +1 armor, which is super duper good, as well as his unique two-handed sword, which is also an extremely good +2 weapon. So now we have two big +2 sword users in our party to really deal out some good damage. Until we get his dexterity up, though, you may have noticed he had garbage dexterity. He's going to have a garbage armor class. You can see his armor class right now is 0, but the fire cam full plate armor is nothing to sneeze at. It's a good set of armor that we're going to use for a very long amount of time. And on this quest we're actually on right now, we will find some gloves of dexterity. So up ahead we find a group of adventurers who want us to pay 1,000 gold to pass. But we're not going to do it, obviously. I mean, you know, we've taken on much tougher enemies at the end of the last episode. This group of adventurers might cause you a problem if you don't understand how to properly approach it. I recommend, obviously, Insect Plague with Jaheira, cast Slow, cast Chaos, full buff, haste, everything like that, and focus down the mages first in this fight. Or I'm sorry, focus down the fighters first in this fight, and then once the mages globe and vulnerability wears off, we can actually destroy them really quickly. But the mage is really the only one to worry about here. Gaius. So we'll see what we can do. No trouble so far. Other than it looks like Animan's having a bit of a panic attack there, but you know, at this point he is probably the least useful member of the party. Maybe Yoshimo is less useful in a fight than him slightly, but not by much. I mean, Yoshimo's got a good bow. And he's got a really good dex score, so he'll be able to hit those shots. But anyway, yeah, these guys, you know, with Celestial Fury and Flail of Ages, you know, most of the fights we're going to be coming up against are going to be very easy, since we went out of our way to do that.
West, roaming in service of God and Lord. Tell me something of your adventures.
And what shall I tell you of?
So we get a little bit of banter there between Yoshimo and Animan. You know, it's not as fun as the banter between Corgan and anyone else in the party, but you know, it's still fun. So we heal up and head up to the northwest here, where we're going to enter the old tunnels.
You must gather your party before venturing forth.
Now that we're here, we only have one real way to go. This door up ahead is not going to open for us, but there's something kind of fun you can do. You can come around this way and shoot through this window, actually. So we can see some shadows over here in the next room. We can't actually get to from this direction, but we can somehow shoot them through the window there. And I honestly just found this out this playthrough, so I was seeing how far I could take it, how many of these guys I could get away with murdering. But anyway, the other ones, they can't quite figure out how to get to you, so you know, just keep shooting them or not. You know, you can just go around and do it the normal way. But you see, there's quite a few of them, so this may actually help us out a bit. You know, the shadows, they go down quick anyway, but you know, the more you can kill before they have a chance of attacking you, the better, obviously. So now we'll go the way we were intended to go in the first place. Make sure we're detecting traps or illusions with Yoshimo. And up ahead, there's going to be an ambush that I totally forget about and get caught up in. So we'll have to really work our way out of this. You know, this big empty room should have made me slightly suspicious, but for some reason it didn't. But it is a good thing that we're taking these guys out before we move forward. And yep, there we go. 4 Ettercaps spawn right behind us, and these Ettercaps are nasty. They can just use you like has happened to me before. And not only that, but a big nasty web spell is coming to entangle us all. So yeah, we're just gonna do our best here to minimize the damage. We really, really blundered by walking into this ambush. It could have been a lot cleaner, but what can you do? You gotta roll with the punches sometimes. You know, if I knew every single thing that was gonna happen, it wouldn't be that fun of a playthrough anyway, would it? Man, look at Celestial Fury over there and the Flail of Ages, just looking so good, just tearing down enemies, absolutely murdering. So I can always count on those weapons to bail me out of a tough spot, unless I can't move. But you know. We're finally going to finish off the Ettercaps, and we're going to have to wait for this web spell to run its course. We'll heal up a bit and head through here, where we're going to find another ambush, which I do remember, but that's probably why I forgot the other one, because this much nastier ambush is up ahead. So this door is already open. There's something to there's a gear to turn, or a valve to turn in the middle of the room here. And you go ahead and quick save it, just in case something bad happens. We'll use the wheel, which causes us to get locked in. That's why I came in here with Yoshimo. So I want to pick the lock on that door and get out as soon as I can, because if your whole party's trapped in that Cloud Kill, it can be really, really, really annoying. Cloud Kill is not a spell you want to linger around in, even at this level. Like in Baldur's Gate 1, Cloud Kill was probably the best spell in the game. I mean, Haste was good, but Cloud Kill was really good. But now in this game, the effectiveness of Cloud Kill is tapered off quite a bit. And oh yeah, by the way, these annoying things will turn invisible when they're about to die. And they'll wait and they'll try to ambush your weakest party members. So be on the lookout for that. So now we're going to head through, and we finally find the entrance to the Cult of the Eyeless.
Tread on sacred ground. Only those who serve the unseeing eye may enter. I am Gaul, high priest of the one god.
So we accept his quest to retrieve an item for the Unseeing Eye, who we don't know much about at this point. We do find out he is a beholder, I believe, but
Kneel and repent. Cast off your old beliefs and be saved.
so that poor initiate didn't quite survive his initiation, did he? But anyway, you can loot this area. There's a few chests you can pick the locks on and get some experience and some minor loot. But I don't bother with it because it's kind of a tedious chore, and I'm more than confident with my loot at this point. Come across Tad, who is the guard there, but now we come back to the room we could not open at the beginning, and we find an Otyugh, who can only be damaged by melee weapons. So don't try to shoot him with ammo. You'll just be wasting it. And now we'll send Yoshimo ahead, making sure that there's no traps, or if there is any, we can disarm them. And we find one. What do you know? So that should be the only trap in this tunnel, hopefully. We're going to move the rest of our party forward and switch to ranged weapons, because ranged weapons are always going to be a good choice when you're in tight hallways like this.
Be wary, my friends. Someone has come before us. I can sense it.
So Sasser here tells us that we can use the other half of the rod to help destroy the beholder who is causing all this evil to happen. So that seems like a good enough plan. He also tells us not to mess with the sarcophagus in the middle there, which he's definitely got a point. We'll have to come back much later to deal with the enemy that's in there. Yeah, I know, it's hard to imagine one enemy right now in the game is enough to scare us off. But, you know, it's one of those licks, I don't know how to pronounce it. And like I said, you know, you don't fuck with the Lich in Baldur's Gate 2. Not yet, anyway. And we had a big hallway full of wraiths and shadows, which are level draining enemies. You know, our favorite. Worth mentioning, if you're playing as an evil party and you have Dorn as your party leader, he is immune to level drain. So all these fights are much less of a worry, of a hassle, if you have Dorn in your party. But you know, as he is, you know, the champion of a demon who worships death and decay or something like that, we can't really. He's not really going to mesh very well with Minsk and Keldorn and Anomen. They're not going to be too happy about him. So, if you're playing along with me, you know, you're probably going to be doing the same quests as I do, except for you're just going to have a slightly different party. I recommend you play with an evil party, just for the fun of it. You know, you can watch me play as the good party, then you can see how the evil party differs. So we come downstairs here. We see a big room with some interesting architecture, and an ambush here that's not an issue really, just a few spiders. We've all got our ranged weapons, and these spiders stand absolutely no chance against us. You can cause these spiders to respawn, I think, 4 or 5 times. You just have to interact up here with the... there's an interaction. There's something you can interact here on this big statue, this big carved wall underneath where we're going to be finding this trap and looting it. And that will cause the spiders to respawn, with which you can farm some XP. Not much, but a little bit. Lots of scrolls and some gems here. So now we're going to head down this narrow hallway to the east. Or I should say it's a pretty wide hallway, I suppose. But it's full of these little mutated gibberlings, or gibberlings, however you want to say it. And these guys, obviously, as you can tell, they're basically goblins or kobolds or whatever. They're really weak enemies. They're kind of quick, I guess. I think they can poison you or maybe disease you, but what are the chances one is going to make it to your party? You know, they're not going to make it there. They don't have any ranged attacks. But up ahead, we've got some slightly more annoying enemies in the forms of undead, mummies, and whatnot. So we'll have to prepare to kite these guys. And a ghast, which can cause level drain, but he's not going to make it to us either. He's way too slow. Way too slow. Mummies and ghasts, what we're looking at here.
You will fall yet.
So yeah, I recommend you focus the ghast, because I'm sorry, it can't level drain you, but it can paralyze you. But since this is kind of a dull fight, I'm just speeding it up, so you guys don't have to watch me kite these mummies around like like an idiot. But yeah, there you go. That's how you can deal with mummies. They're super slow. If you have room, just run away, reposition, and fight. If you're hasted, it's twice as easy, twice as quick. But I just simulated the haste effect there by increasing the video speed. So we got a trap here on the first step leading up to this shrine-looking thing, this ruinous, I don't know what it is. We're going to interact with the roof here. He gives us a riddle. Pretty interesting stuff there. That's going to repair the bridge for us here. And we're going to send Jaheira ahead, who also has a level up. But we're going to equip the Shield of Baldur on Jaheira and send her forth once we get her level up. We're going to give her one into scimitars because after this mission, we plan on retrieving a really nice scimitar for Jaheira to wield for a decent amount of time. Now we have 2 pips in katana and 2 pips in flail for my main character, making him an absolute machine, a melee machine. He is just so strong right now with that gear. But up ahead, we find our first glimpse of what a beholder is going to look like. These are actually goths, which are like baby beholders, but they're still powerful. They'll still fuck you up pretty good if you don't have the Shield of Baldur on. But if you do, none of their attacks will do a single thing to you. So Jaheira is going to get ambushed during this fight by a bunch of these shadow fiends, which are a bunch of these shadows, which by themselves or 2 or 3 at a time, not too big of an issue, but there's quite a few. So we're going to have to actually move the rest of the party up to help her deal with these guys, or she very well may get overwhelmed in melee. As long as my party stays out of range of the Goths, we should be fine. And yeah, I mean, we'll just there's 3 of them there, so that's kind of dangerous, you know. Without this shield, this would be a very difficult fight, I believe. But with the shield, it's super duper easy. So just use your, use your potions of Master Thievery if you can't afford the Shield of Baldur on. Use your potions and go to the Black Market Thief in the docks and just buy and sell, or buy and steal, I should say, or shit, steal and sell, I should say. Damn it. So now we're going to move up, now that there's no one else to give us any trouble besides the Goths, who are, mostly completely out of the game. They're so paralyzed and held they can't even see straight, even with all those eyes. So, Jaheira, she's taking some knocks though, man. I say those Shadow Fiends really did a number on her, but not enough of a number to put her down. So we'll finish these guys off and heal up. And then we'll move out to the north, where we're going to come across more enemies, What would a dungeon be without more enemies? Actually, you know what? There's no more enemies. I was wrong. Totally wrong. But there is a trap up ahead, so you want to make sure you send Yoshimo up to find it. Coming across some water up ahead with some interesting looking pathways leading over the water. And an interestingly shaped trap as well. So let's head on up. Got some strange statues as well. Really interesting little area here that we're going to cautiously make our way through just in case.
Yes?
Okay, so we have permission by the Guardians to enter the temple and take the thing that they've been assigned to protect for so long.
You must gather
And
your
inside
party
we're going to
before
find a
venturing
nasty little critter. Oh yeah, there it is. The first demon that we find. A creature of pure loathing. The only way to damage him is to hit him with healing spells, which is fun, but if you don't know that, you're going to have issues. So just walk up to him with your hero or Animan and hit him with a healing spell. There you go.
Who walks in the temple of I? Speak of yourself. You are almost beyond the sight of I. I weep for my children. Their hate sustains this place, though they would intend otherwise. Had they not thought of me at all, I would have perished, and soon after so would they. Yes, I see in your mind the way to release this place. You seek the great device for another, though you owe them no allegiance, and they intend to kill you. The cause is simple. You will take the great device, the piece that I possess, and ye shall combine it with the piece the creature already has. The assembled rod would surely destroy the beast. You must use the item upon the beast, and then return it to me. Use it but once, or you will perish under its power. Tell my people that you carry the piece that I give you, that you might deplete it, that you go to restore its components so that it may be disposed of as a whole, not in part. My people must know I intend to destroy it when you return. But more, they must know I intend to end their service. This simple act of bringing together the two parts of the rod will instill a small amount of faith for an instant. If they are in my presence, such an instant will allow me to destroy the artifact.
So finally, the long-winded Avatar finally explains what he wants us to do, and he wants us to take the piece and then return to him so that he can destroy it once we have used it to destroy the beholder itself. So we'll just loot his little altar there, and then head back all the way back to the cult itself.
You must gather your party before venturing forth.
So on the way back, we're stopped by Sasser.
Is that you? Have you returned successful?
So if you guys remember Tad, the guy who was guarding the pit of the faithful there, we're just gonna return to him. Give him a good old hello. So now the pit of the faithless turns into a stairwell for us to clamber down. And what do you think we're going to find down here? More undead. More level draining. That's really good. More disease. Yes. My favorite. And these mummies are tough. We're going to have to get in there with our melee weapons and risk disease and whatnot. We'll see if Animan has become a slightly better tank at this point. I don't think he has, but you can see my main character has changed from a crossbow to a throwing axe as his ranged weapon of choice. Keldorn has been given the crossbow that we were using, the light crossbow +1. But our party is finally looking like they're up to snuff against some mummies, which is a good thing. We've struggled against them a bit in the earlier parts of this playthrough. Excuse me. And Animan, now that he has the Helm of Baldur on and the Fortress Shield, he's actually doing quite well. I think his armor class is -6, and Jahir's is as well. But her strength is way down due to the Shield of Baldur on. We're going to give her the large shield +3 back, just so her strength returns. It's the only drawback of the Shield of Baldur. It's got really good armor class and everything. It really reduces your strength. So we come across an undead that is not immediately hostile to us, which is interesting, but then we come across some that are immediately hostile. But we're just going to take them out as we usually do. Just nice and patiently. We'll sling at him until he gets close, and then we'll switch to our mace +2 with Animan. And take him down. We'll see what this undead guy has to say. The mayor. You mentioned a mayor? That's interesting. The ghouls have set up some sort of civilization, some sort of society down here. And we're just going to switch back to melee for most of our characters here. We absolutely shred with the flail and the mace. I'm sorry, the flail and the katana here. Now, it is possible to pull this entire room of enemies here, so you've got to be a little bit careful. I ran out of ammo with Minsk and didn't realize it, so that's an issue. Luckily, he did not take any damage or get diseased or confused or paralyzed or anything like that. So we kind of got away with it there, but... And in this room is where we're going to find the gloves for Keldorn to improve his dexterity to 18, which is effectively doubling his dexterity and giving him a -4 armor class bonus. So yeah, no matter what you say to the mayor, he eventually gives in to his craving for human flesh. But I feel kind of bad. Like, These guys weren't trying to hurt people. They were living down here, and they were just feeding off the corpses that, other people were throwing down. So I don't see too much harm in what they were doing. But they do have some good items, so, no mercy. Worth mentioning, that's a Ghoul Lord right there I'm fighting. Not that tough of an enemy, but he does have a cool name. So what more can I say? We've got some nasty guys here. Really want to concentrate on the transparent enemies there, the Shadow Fiends. Just don't want to get level drained. That just really brings a screeching halt to my momentum. As we all know, war is all about the aggression of violence. Or is it the violence of aggression? One of those. It's all about momentum. Tempo, tempo, tempo. I don't know if anyone gets that reference. We'll see. Of all the 12 people that watch this video. I doubt it. So finally, it looks like we've cleansed this area of the undead. Nope, there's still another one. Another skeleton warrior. Really, you should just give up, skeleton warrior. You should just run away. It's not your day. I'm always a big fan of skeletons, though. Skeleton enemies in games, no matter what they are. Like, it's not creative. It's like the opposite. It's so generic, but there's just something about the skeleton, the design of skeletons that I kind of hold dear, And in Baldur's Gate, some of them are actually really strong, which is cool. Lich in particular, I guess, are kind of skeletons, but now we've got a ton of mummies coming at us. We thought we were done, but oh no, we're just gonna burn a blur and a mirror image here and try to get in there. Try to get in there and just finish these guys off, because geez Louise, am I tired of fighting undead monsters. If I really, really wanted to rush this process, to hasten this process, I could cast haste, but I don't feel like resting. After you haste, your party gets fatigued. I don't like that. So it would probably save time overall, but personal preference. Nobody wants to rest down here. Who would want to set up camp in a place like this? We need to conserve our energy. So here is the pile that the gloves of dexterity are held in, and we're immediately going to identify those and put them on Keldorn, and he's going to become twice as good, 3 times as good of a tank, just with that one item. So yeah, this mission, even if you're the evil party and you don't want Keldorn in your party, you should come down here just for those gloves. There's also a nice halberd as well down here that we haven't quite found yet, but no one in my crew is using halberds. One more battle on this bridge, and we will be in the lair of the Beholder himself. So just bear with me here as I slowly dismantle these mummies. Speaking of mummies, I recently watched The Mummy with Tom Cruise and Sophia Boutella. And Jake Johnson, who was my favorite part of that movie. I don't think I've heard a single good thing about that movie, but I thought it was cool. I thought it was fun. It was no The Mummy 1, but it was way better than like Scorpion King or whatever, The Mummy 2. Yeah, so maybe from now on I'll just talk about movies during my my boring fights. Maybe that'll be something we could do. So we come into a room with a big nipple, big pulsating nipple. Yeah, we're going to find quite a few of these around here. One of which is the Beholder his self's stash. Or I should say the eyeless one, whatever you want to call him. But we're just going to send you here ahead. You can see the circle around her is signifying the Shield of Baldur. So we're going to whip +1 ammo from her +2 sling at these guys while they fruitlessly throw paralyzation attacks at me. whatever. Now this area, there's one interesting fight here, but other than that, it's mostly Beholder-esque enemies. So we're gonna take care of this first fun fight down here, and then I'm just going to skip the looting process of the rest of the place. So you see, we have a blind priest. There's actually 6 blind priests down there, and they're all cleric classes. They're all strong enemies. But all we need to do is obviously Armor of Faith. We're gonna haste. We're gonna cast Chaos. We're gonna cast Insect Plague. We're gonna cast Slow if we can. All the normal spells are gonna be cast here on these guys. And we're going to even use the black spider figurine for the first time. Yoshimo's going to throw a spider up here just as a quick distraction. And then everyone is going to run in and do our very best to neutralize these guys. Because this is kind of a tough fight. Like, there's no cheesing this fight like we did with Koshi and his where we pulled him downstairs by himself. We need to just give everything we got to this fight. Honestly, this is the boss fight of this dungeon when we actually confront the Beholder himself. He's a big pushover because of the rod that we used. But it looks like Chaos is doing its job. 2 or 3 of the priests are running in panic. The bear is just not having a good day. These guys got tons of bugs up in their nose and mouth and ears and stuff. They can't cast spells. Every time they open their mouth to cast a spell, they're getting a big a big bite of bugs. So I guess that's why it's so effective against mages. I wonder if Vocalize would cause Insect Plague to be less useful. Which Vocalize lets you cast spells without opening your mouth, basically. So that's kind of interesting. I don't think it does though. So yeah, these guys fall pretty quick. I think one of the priests actually got away. I think there's one like still left somewwe'll have to run him down. Yep, there he is. I was too busy looting to even notice that, I think, but we eventually find him and get him. Summoning Freedy. Now that's a nice scroll there. I think it's a level 7 spell, but it's going to be rendered obsolete pretty soon. I think in the next episode we're going to find a nice figurine. So you can see I went ahead and cleared this whole area. Nothing but Goths and Beholders, which Jaheira just fought by herself, and I thought it was boring, so I cut it out. There's some good items. The halberd is in the northernmost nipple. So anyway, we're going to finally explore the last area here, which, if you were really thirsting for some of those exciting battles, this is what you were missing when I cut out the rest of the exploration here. So we'll take this Goth down, and then we're going to loot the stash here, and that is going to trigger the eyeless one. I want to make sure I have the rod, but I don't think it matters. I think it automatically puts it in your main character's inventory there. So we're going to equip it into a quick slot, and then once the Beholder appears, we'll make sure we use it on him immediately. And here he is. He's a big boy. But once we cast this on him, he's going to go down to very minimal health, and then we can just finish him off with a couple swings. 30,000 XP right there. And he drops a nice amulet for us. So we're going to head back to the Temple of the Diseased Ones here. And blow their fucking minds.
Suffered, who still suffer. The time is at an end. The letter of the law states that we guard until the end of time. Our time has ended. This is the end of things. rest your mind in my heart. Rest.
You are a great and wonderful being for what you have done. May the gods smile upon you forever for doing this for that creature.
So the only thing left to do now is to come back and wipe out the rest of these psychos who were worshipping that weird looking thing down there.
But not all is lost.
His name's Gaul, not Ghoul, Keldorn. What the hell? So anyway, we've got a little fight here. Nothing too bad. Gaul himself is kind of problematic, but if you just destroy him right away, all you have left are these tanky fighters who aren't going to be able to do much damage. But you know, what do you expect, really? These guys were insane, and I think they're all blind. So, you know, I feel kind of bad beating up on these guys. It's like that terrible scene from that movie Robin Hood with Russell Crowe, where like the blind guy tries to fight like the sheriff of whatever. I don't know if you've seen that. Like the blind old man tries to fight him, and we get a decent crossbow and a belt from them. So, and when we leave the sewers here, we see a prophet being destroyed by the Knight's Crucible.
Who are you?
So we pick up a quest from traveling with Minsk long enough. Delon will come and talk to him and ask him for help.
Your return was foreseen, though what you would say is unknown.
So we got a lot of XP, a reputation increase, 7,000 gold. We've got a couple level ups to assign here. And yeah, just overall super profitable quests. We got the Gloves of Dexterity. We got the Crossbow +2. You know, really just we're pretty much ready to go rescue Imwin. There's a couple of things I want to do first.
Good day to you.
Like I was saying, I want to deal with Animan and Keldorn's family quests.
Oh, to taste the airs of home. It has been a long time since I have passed this way.
Which we can trigger by heading over to the government district, which we had to do anyway once we learned Animan's sister had been murdered. Since Animan and Keldorn both have houses here in the district.
Be married, friend.
But of course, we are interrupted by someone who is another quest for us here. Really piling on the quests. So we'll enter and talk to Tolgarius.
I am one of the few who are chosen.
So this is a quest we do want to do, but probably not right now. We're going to, like I said, we're going to continue with Animan and Keldorn's issues, just to make sure that they're totally happy in our party when we do decide to leave Athkatla for good, or for a while anyway. So we'll have a nice walk through here of the government district. You know, midday. It's a nice little area.
Declare yourself. You must gather your party.
The prodigal son returns, heir to his mother's foolishness as always. Well, let me ask you, how far have you roamed, son, running away from me?
Speak not of my mother, drunkard. You were never worthy of being her husband. I am well worried by what has gone on in this place. Though the choice seems clear and right, I am hesitant to take it. Nay, father. It is time for this foolishness to end.
Shut your mouth! If you leave now, you are forever banished from this place. You will be cast from this family and become a nameless dog, not fit to cower at my feet!
I have been cowering at your feet for all my life. Goodbye, father. Perhaps I shall see you again before you drink yourself to death.
So, having convinced Animan not to murder someone in cold blood with zero evidence, which we shouldn't have needed to convince him to do. I understand it was his sister and everything, but he's supposed to be like a paladin type guy. You know, you'd think he would know the rules of the law, but whatever. So now we're going to head down to Keldorn's house, the Fire Cam estate. Say Fire Cam is a really cool last name. We'll just enjoy the ambient scenery here, the nice calming atmosphere before we head into Keldorn's.
Ah, my sweet Vesper. How is your schoolwork going? The priests are still kind to you for my sake?
So, who are these? Heathen you converted in Kalimport? Traveling pilgrims you stumbled across in Seradush? What about me? What about my heart, Keldorn? What if I don't love you anymore?
Maria! Curse the dictates of honor. Oh, the very gods demand that I bring this case before the courts. So William shall be hung, and the love of my entire life imprisoned. There is no other outcome.
My time is quick, so be brief, commoner.
You live. Am I to read from such a fact that Sir William now lies dead?
Nay, my love, we both yet live, and perhaps each of us more fully than before.
So, against my better judgment, I leave Keldorn here to patch things up with his wife. So, we're going to have to find something to do for a couple of days until we can get Keldorn back into our party. So, we'll start Telgarius' quest and head to Valgar's house in the docks. So we can head upstairs here to find a clue that will lead us to where Valigar has fled. I always want to make sure we are checking for traps and everything like that, but I don't know. I don't think anything here is actually trapped. Just locked, and we can find the parchment here. The Korthala tax notice. So it tells us he is in the Umar Hills. But we're going to go back to the city gates for now.
Have a look at my wares. I trust you'll find them all in satisfactory condition.
So yeah, the merchant, since we've stuck up for him, he's going to give us a special discount. And we accept another quest, Animal Trouble and Trade Meat, which we actually will do. We're actually going to do the Trade Meat quest next. But first, we're going to stop over here at the tower.
Rumors of ancient ruins and incredible treasures often reach the ears of the party as they travel the length of the Sword Coast. But no tale is so lucrative as that of Watcher's Keep. The ruin still stands, it is said, and a religious order known as the Knights of the Vigil have made a call wide and far for heroes to aid their dangerous cause. Details are scarce, and curiosity leads the party quickly to the glade of the keep itself, a deserted place that whispers in the wind of the most ancient evils.
Greetings to you, my friend. I believe I have heard of you. You are one of the companions of the Child of Baal. The Child of Baal has come. We had hoped that our call for aid would draw you here. Praise to the Watcher for hearing our prayers. Here, we are atop the ancient prison at last. Before us is the entrance into its first level, the first obstacle towards reaching the lower vault.
So the whole reason we did this is simply to buy a potion case from Sister Garlina here. So kind of anticlimactic, but that's really the only reason we were going there. And we'll head to Trade Meat to finish off the episode here. We're going to help them out with their animal problems.
Good day to you.
All the world's mine. I have made something mine, and none are the wiser.